What up, nerds? We're back. We have one of the best prospects in the class we're breaking down today, and that is tight end from Florida, Kyle Pitts. We are hyped up about this one. We actually covered him in a video prior to the 2020 season, so let's see how he improved. Let's roll the tape. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Film Nerds here on the Dynasty Nerds YouTube channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about one of the most hyped prospects in this 2021 rookie class. I'm here tonight with Nick Whalen again. What's up, Nick?
Good, man. I'm excited. It's been too long since we got together, and now we have a really exciting guy to talk about. This is going to be fun.
I feel like every episode we're like, oh, it's been too long. It's been too long. We got to hit our rhythm here again.
Right, we do.
And of course, we got Felix Sharp in the house. What's up, Felix?
Man, we're talking about Kyle Pitts. You know, when I get to pick what tape I'm going to watch, I always pick matchups. So I got two really good matchups for everyone tonight.
The Kyle Pitts hype has just gone through the roof. So tonight we're going to take a look at the tape. And if you're not familiar with Film Nerds or what we do, all three of us, we watch the all 22 tape. We each pick out 2 games from the season, and we pick out about 6 to 8 plays that we want to show to kind of walk through and display the prospects' strengths, weaknesses, and just talk about how we feel they're going to be at the next level and how they're going to affect our dynasty fantasy football rosters, because of course this is a fantasy football channel. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what you think about Kyle Pitts. So in 2019, Kyle Pitts caught 54 passes for 649 yards and 5 touchdowns in 13 games played. Then this past game, he only played 8 games, but he recorded 43 receptions for 770 yards and 12 touchdowns. So quite the adjustment, quite the jump on a per game basis. Ran a 4.40 at his pro day. How much stock are we putting into that, guys?
You know, I don't know how much I care about speed at the tight end position. It's more like, you know, where you win on the field. And I think that we're going to see that Kyle Pitts wins at the levels of the field that somebody like Darren Waller or Travis Kelce wins. So, you know, whether it's 4.4 or 4.6, you know, I think that he has a skill set to attack the seams. At least in my clips, that's what we're going to see.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and plus, it's not the combine either. I mean, you watched, all these pro days, everyone's running a 4.3, and right. I'm like, that guy's not a 4.3 guy. So I don't put as much into it. But again, like Felix is saying, it's what you run on the field. Again, that's decision making, that's aggressiveness, that's confidence, that's running this path, because there's going to be defenders in a ball and a scheme involved. But I got some really good and some rough plays from Pitts just to show people what he could get better at. But he's a heck of a talent.
Yeah, for sure. For somebody that's 6'6", 255 pounds, 260 pounds to run a 4.4. And I mean, the scouts are there hand timing it. It's not like it's like completely off. Of course, it's not a laser time, so it's going to be a little quicker, but it's not like they're shortening the field or anything like that. I mean, it's still legit 4.5 maybe. So still really fast for a man his size. And the athleticism shows up on the field. Like we said, he's able to get open at different levels, win on the outside, win on the inside. So we're going to break it down. And we actually covered Kyle Pitts in a previous episode. If you haven't seen that, you can go take a look. It was prior to the 2020 season. So it's kind of like a preview, and we talked about some things that he maybe needed to improve. And one of the top things we talked about was his strength as just like a blocker or someone playing inside or across the middle of the field. So do you guys think that from 2019 to 2020, he improved in that area?
In blocking?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Nick was going to say, yeah. No, I don't think so. I think that he's someone who can get dump trucked into the backfield and, at times doesn't show a lot of effort blocking, but who cares? I mean, I'm not going to ask him to block if I'm, that's not how I would expect him to be deployed.
Yeah, he won't be deployed that way, but he's going to be a first-round pick, so it's not like it's going to keep him off the field. They're going to put the guy on the field to make plays, catching the football, which is what we love to see.
J-Wack, I got a clip where he gets beat off the edge by an 18-year-old freshman from Alabama. I mean,
I know you do. Yeah. I mean, see, I kind of disagree with you a little bit. Like, I think he is a willing blocker and he plays tough. He gets into position. I just don't think he's he's willing, but I don't think he's very good at it. But like we just said, that's not going to be what he's asked to do. So just a couple little notes here that I had. He was PFF's highest graded player in 2020 at 96.2. So their highest graded prospect, the largest wingspan ever recorded by a tight end. Obviously that's going to help you on the field, rising up above the linebackers and safeties catching the football. Kyle Pitts was the only player in college football with 65 plus targets and 0 drops. That's per PFF, Nick. And we know how they grade their drops.
We do know this.
And I'm not shitting on PFF. They do a great job. Those dudes grind the tape to get you the stats and information that they do. And they just, film can be subjective. So their drop may not be considered what we consider a drop, So still a really interesting stat, really good stat, because I know we brought up on the 2019 tape that there were a little bit of drop issues. So from what I've seen, it looks to be cleaned up for the most part. But without further ado, let's get into this tape, shall we? All right, so let's get into the tape here. Nick, you are up with Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia, big game, SEC. So here, Pitts is at the bottom of the screen, and you're going to see that the corner, he has inside leverage. So he's a half a man inside. He's guarding, any breaking route, which would probably be a slant most of the time or any kind of short crosser. And so Pitts has a slant. And so what I would like him to do here is to attack the corners outside, foot, shoulder, something to make him open up or think or hesitate. And then he would have a much clearer path on a slant route. But what you see here, he doesn't even attempt that, and it's tighter coverage.
So if you don't know Felix played DB at Grand Valley State University. Were you safety or corner, Felix?
Corner.
Yeah. So you're matched up with Kyle Pitts here on the outside. Does this route bother you at all?
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I actually think he's kind of open there, given his size, and he gets across the corner's face. He's got inside leverage, but he doesn't keep it after the snap. He doesn't keep playing him inside, and he doesn't jam him. Does it bother me? What bothers me is when someone runs past me or attempts to run past me. I don't have a problem covering something like this underneath, especially for a player like Pitts. I think what he would cause problems with is when he does take an outside release and he can be used on the back shoulder fade because he is just so big. We'll see it later on. But long. Yeah, just long. Like you could have perfect coverage and he's still going to make the catch. So that's with him with 84. That is what I would be worried about is him getting an outside release and me being in perfect coverage right in his hip and him still making the catch on me.
So I noticed this is something that he loves to do. This is like a big move in his repertoire is dipping that shoulder. He loves to dip that shoulder to kind of fight against people getting their hands on him. So he does a pretty decent job there of getting that shoulder down to help fight off the hands of the DB. But yeah, I think he's open too. But Nick being the nitpicky evaluator he is, yeah.
Did you all ever see him use a crisp? Did you all ever see him use like any other release, like a swim move or anything like that?
Oh, he loves the swim move, man. I think I see the swim move more downfield than I see it at the line of scrimmage.
Okay.
So here, this is, a blocking, which is Felix not as hyped about, but I saw more effort from him blocking wise. Not that he's great here, but you can tell, he gets into the defender and then he keeps moving his feet. He keeps, he releases his hips here, which is good. He's not just a stiff blocker or a waist bender. He tries to release his hips a little bit here and he stays with it. The guy's moving, fighting him. That's all you can ask for, especially for a receiving-esque type tight end.
For sure.
And he's on the play side, so let's give him credit for that. Like they ran to his side also.
It's a better block I've ever seen than I've ever seen David Njoku do for the Browns. I'll tell you that. So here's another look at it. Gets good movement.
Good.
And like right there too. I mean, he almost slipped off, but his hands helped save him too, which shows that athleticism and that I guess body control to stay on it too. So this is, early on, you can see that the shoulder dip that you talked about, J-Wack. Right off the line of scrimmage, he used that, and that's what got him his initial separation. If you want to watch, no, before that, right here, watch him dip his shoulder. So right there, which helps him get off there clean. Uses that speed. He kind of he's hand fighting, gets his head around, and and that right there, that's a bad ball. That ball's inside. He kind of has almost no business to get to that. That corner should get that ball
for sure. Yeah.
But he reaches that again. You talked about that long reach.
Stumbles.
That's right over the corner. It should be way more outside there, Trask.
And this is exactly the play that worries me, is being in good position and him just making the play over me. Even though that linebacker or safety probably could have been a little bit tighter and pushed him.
He does this so many times.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And this is, you had mentioned this meant like what makes me think of a Waller. Because Waller, you're battling, you might be there, but again, he's got better body control than you. This is strength too, added to his game after that contact.
Hold on. Waller did not play for the Rams. If you're new to the show, Nick always has a Rams comp for the player we're evaluating, and I hope he's ready for tonight. Are we ready to?
I gotta think. I forgot about that. That's my role. I forgot about that.
All right, we can hold off on that.
What's wrong? Felix, do you know Cleveland Gary?
No.
Man, I referenced Cleveland Gary as a running back comp for the Rams from the early 90s, and J-Wack found a clip and added it in later. It was amazing.
Was that Javonte Williams film?
I think it was, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we broke down Javonte Williams. You guys check that out too.
This is just
silly, dude.
That's something. And the thing is, everything before that, I wasn't that big of a fan of, because again, I'd like him to threaten inside. I'd like him to give his quarterback more space in the outside. J-Wack, you know how that is. You want give me a yard or two on the outside. He's pushed right to the sideline, and still he wins.
Well, he was born with the space, Nick. He was born with the space. So I know what you mean. You don't want him to be that close to the sideline, but he woke up open. Kyle Pitts did.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing with him is like, he's doing all. And if you want to go all the back, Joe, it could be nice to see the release off the line here and how he doesn't win. He doesn't really threaten inside. Doesn't hesitate, but like, look, corner's on him. He's got him, and. This I think speaks a little bit more to his potential too. That if he's trying to dip there,
he does a good job of using his hands here.
Yeah, but he's covered.
Fights him off right there.
Like corner's in a great spot. Like corner can't do any better, but he still makes his reception, which tells me like if he learns any of that other stuff, what could he be?
His ceiling's so high, and I see why people are talking about top 5 pick. I think he's more of a top 10 pick just because of the quarterback class, but still.
Yep.
Well, you see his versatility. Well, first of all, he is able to get separation at times, but then he's also able to win when he's covered. And that just makes it very, very difficult for
the other part too is like if you don't go back just a little bit just before he catches that ball. He's hand fighting here, but he's also tracking the ball. And he's moving it. That's body control. There's a lot that's going on there where to be able to track the ball and catch it through contact, that's such a huge skill.
That's 6'6", dude. You don't see guys that big with that type of skill.
Look at his legs right now. Like, do you think he's on balance? But he figures it out and finds a way.
Yeah, it's an amazing play.
And the ref throws a flag, so that tells you a little bit.
Yeah. All right, lined up in line here.
All right, this is against Missouri.
Good adjustment there.
Yep. And this is body control. So here you can see he does a little bit of the route stuff that I like here. He hesitates a little bit right in here, goes inside a little bit, uses his hands, doesn't look until he gets out of that break. I mean, it's not great, but it's better than it was. And look at that. I mean, that's that wingspan. Look at that. Like that, Kyle Trask, you missed that ball by like 3 yards, like outside.
So one thing that I think that's a reoccurring theme with his tape is that he's able to catch the ball in awkward positions, and then he maintains his balance, and he's able to, take on contact. He doesn't just fall down. He's an athlete. He maintains his balance, and he can get yards after the catch because, I mean, he's essentially like a cat out there at sometimes. Just he can elevate and jump and then come down and still, stay in bounds and look for the next defender coming at him. I can't understate that, is that when you're catching a ball thrown behind you, if we go to the fantasy football expo and have a man try to do that, they're going to fall on their face. I mean, but he's able to catch it and keep on trucking. So
a lot of core strength to do that. Reminds me of Kamara. Kamara's got that weird balance. How does he have balance after contact? It's balance that kind of weird stuff.
Got him bottom of the screen here, making another over the shoulder catch.
I mean, and this is too, if you go back from the start, you can see his burst here. Watch him how quick he gets off here, dips, and he's going and he's got you beat.
Yeah, he loves that dip.
You can see the athleticism.
Dips again here. See how it gets there. Helps get their hands off. Throws a linebacker off balance.
Yeah, that's an athlete. And again, tracking over the shoulder, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
Good ball.
I mean, that's tough to guard a guy like that.
They put him all over the field.
So this is one where he doesn't sell anything to the outside, and you can tell because watch the corner. The corner doesn't believe anything. He's like, yep, you're going inside. And that's where, against man coverage, you got to give me something. Maybe you go vertical, maybe take a step outside. You're not in a hurry to get inside it versus man. And he's in a hurry. And so that's just, I always talk about you're an actor. You got to make someone believe you're going to be this type of role in order to get open. And nothing was believable here. And this corner is what? I mean, I don't know him. I don't think he's anybody good. Felix, you might know that a little more than anybody, but I mean, that's not a first round guy, I don't think. So.
Watching Trask out here run. Hey, one of the best man beaters there is the quarterback running with the football. Good decision here by Trask just to get some yards. No one's open, true. But it's funny.
DB's backs are turned.
Yeah. Okay, it's a different play here. Lined up off ball, Felix.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just because watch, he gets a piece of one, then goes to another one. I mean, I liked it. Again, it's some effort.
That was a little soft.
Yeah.
He's a little high.
Yeah, so when I first watched this, I thought he flinched, but he's getting his eyes around, trying to see if he needs to pick up that outside end or backer. Yeah, decent job. Sorry, Felix. What were you going to say?
It's just, in looking at the two games that I looked at, and it's something that you all may have picked up when Pitts was off in this position, in this kind of move position where he can go in motion, that signified to me that they were going to run. When he was attached and in line, he was going to be a part of the route concept and be running a pass route on the play. It's not 100%, but it was enough. If I was a safety for a team preparing for Florida, I would probably be on my toes, leaning forward when he was in this position, and I'd probably be ready to backpedal when he was in line and attached.
Something to pay attention to for sure.
I put a couple of clips on my Twitter at Sharp Review, just showing that. I mean, that there he is. He's in line and he's attached and he runs a pass route. So,
yeah, I like the route here.
And the one thing I like about this one is watch him delay this. Block,
wide delay,
and then
love me some wide delay.
Yep, and that's just again. So there he sells the route. That it doesn't have to be exact, but that's a timing thing. So I love seeing that.
Yep.
He transitions pretty well to receiver too, or from receiver to runner, which I like.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what Felix was just saying earlier, and it shows up again here. Doesn't lose any balance catching the football. It's not hard for him.
Mm-mm.
He's just a fluid athlete.
Yes.
So we got Alabama here.
Oh, the ACC or the SEC championship game.
Yeah,
that's right. I'm pretty sure this is 3rd and 6.
Off the ball here.
Yeah. So another thing that one thing that I think he's really able to do is he understands, or at least I think he understands what looks open to the quarterback, and he is able to consistently, when he's across in the middle, to get across his defender's face. So to me, like right there, that's exactly what I want to see, is put himself between the quarterback and the defender. He essentially boxes him out.
Yeah.
And is able to cross the linebacker's face. The other thing is again, the balance after this catch, and to be able to take the hit, stay on his feet, that's what he's going to have to do in the NFL is to be able to take these hits over the middle, and you see him do it consistently.
It's a tough catch too, with that guy right on him. Nice hand, use of his hands.
Well, how about prior to this too? Like if you go back to the other angle, J-Wack.
Swim move.
I mean, well, the swim move, but then the linebacker's draped on him. He hooks him.
Yeah.
Right here. So he fights through this contact.
Right, yeah.
He loves that move.
Yeah.
I mean, he fought through that too. I mean, that's a lot of contact, which again, tight end, tight ends get hurt a lot. They get beat up a lot because it's a lot of contact in the middle. So he's got to be able to do this.
And the tight ends that make a difference fantasy wise, and pause it, J-Wack, on the tight ends that make a difference fantasy wise, that's where they win, is like in the vertical seam, being able to, attack those safeties and those linebackers and make them cover. And you just see him win in those areas a lot and take hits and be able to keep running. This play, this is second and 7. They got a cornerback that's pretty good over there, J-Wack, at Alabama. This is him going up against Surtain.
Oh yeah, it's either going to be him or Horn, first corner off the board, right? That's what most people are thinking.
Yeah, I like Horn myself.
Well, Fairley's good too, right?
Yeah, but he has medical issues though. So I've heard that the NFL is a little bit down on him because of a back issue. I think he even had to go get a medical recheck recently. No, a recheck.
Okay. I hear Patrick Surtain, and I think of his dad. So this is just I've been in this a long time. Yeah.
He loves the hesitation. I feel like we see a lot of these wide receivers where they vary speed and some even like walk off the line of scrimmage and then burst into the route. But this is one-on-one against somebody who's going to be playing on Sunday, someone who's going to be drafted very close to when Pitts is drafted.
Great catch.
But if you go back, J-Wack, this is exactly what he didn't do on the first play that I showed. It's a slant route. You got to do something to the outside, and watch he widens him and then comes inside, and look at the separation he has, which is different. The other guy was in his hip pocket.
And the other game
shows that he can do it.
Was towards the beginning of the year. This game's the SEC championship, so maybe he saw that on film, or he got coached up and made some improvements.
I mean, we'll see. He had 130 yards receiving in this game, and he should have had 220 plus yards receiving in this game. He could not be handled by their linebackers, safeties, and at least here by their corners. But he really won in the middle against the linebackers and safeties.
Yeah, you draft an elite tight end like this, he's a mismatch all over the middle of that field. Those linebackers and safeties, they can't match up with these guys. So
it was my issue with him. Is 31 as a freshman, as a true freshman.
Just gets beat off the ball.
Doesn't really have any business beating Pitts that way.
That's just bad footwork. Like, you want to watch his footwork. His first step is inside. There's no one there. His next step is forward. So his feet really mess him up there. There's no pass set at all, or right foot even back. You want that vertical.
I work at those drop steps, son.
Exactly. That vertical set, he doesn't have it here.
Now, this play got me excited. This is why you draft Kyle Pitts. This should have been a touchdown. You see one go in motion. The cornerback travels with him. They're showing man, but they end up playing cover 2 behind it. Look how open the separation that he gets here. And we've seen seen Pitts beat these players after he catches the ball. This is a 65-yard touchdown.
Like that's a route. Sold outside, came inside. I mean, Trask, why are you so excited?
And our safety to the boundary falls down too. I mean, this is a touchdown.
Jeez, man. As a quarterback, that hurts my soul.
Mm-hmm. That's one where you can put some loft into it. It doesn't have to be on a line.
Yeah, you remember that one all the way home.
But that's why you draft Kyle Pitts, is because he can make that play. He can get that open.
Yeah.
Horn up top, number 1. This is mano a mano. We mentioned it earlier where Kyle Pitts can lose as far as getting open, but still be open. And you'll see on this back shoulder throw, Horn is fine, is right where he's supposed to be. And Pitts is just too much for him. I mean, it's just perfect coverage. You can see it a little bit better here.
And Horn out physicals him initially, or pushes him to the sideline.
Yep, he does. It's that length. I mean, it's that length. It's that length. You can do everything right as a DB.
But the other thing
you only got to get 1 foot in college.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. The other thing too I like here is he posts him up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a post up. Feed me the ball. I'm on the block. This is what I did right here. Yep. I'm using my body.
Throws him. So I love watching this matchup. This is, like we just said, probably quarterback 1 off the board, NFL player, and he wins on the outside like we were talking about earlier. Can he win on the outside in the NFL? Obviously, he was in college, so this is a really good look at.
I think he can win in a specific number of ways, but I don't know that he's necessarily creative or twitchy as a route runner.
Yeah,
but his
This is similar to how Darren Waller wins in the NFL on the outside right here. I mean, you're not going to put him out there and have him run comeback routes or, anything that involves like breaking out. He's probably going to be running your posts, back shoulder throws like that, fades.
But yeah, one is a good player, and you see why one is a good player. He's physical. He's where he's supposed to be. It's just that 84 is a little too long, a little too athletic. This might be my favorite play.
Can you go to the start again, J-Wack? This is just for you. Only for you. Okay.
What?
Watch Trask right here. Knows he's going to get hit. Delivers that ball.
Dude, I like Trask still. Like he's definitely inconsistent. I like him as like a second round pick. I think, I don't think he's going to be like a fantasy starter by any means, but
just, I no, you're going to get drilled and
10
still
times now.
Complete that.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, but Felix is excited about this next play, so
I know. When I talk, I just keep going.
Well, I was excited about both of them, but we talk about tight ends being "quote unquote" security blankets. This is why. I mean, you got Kyle Pitts erasing an errant throw a little bit high over the head, and it was on him quick.
I love the physicality of this too. This play.
He can erase errors. In some coverages, you make that throw and it's tipped up and a safety's back there and it's an interception.
I think about Mike Evans' NFC Championship game when he did that a couple times.
Mm-hmm. I mean, 24 was back there too.
What do you know about the NFC?
Gets the shoulder, fakes outside, uses his hands inside. Like that route running. It looks like it's getting better here as the season goes on.
He is just dominating over the middle.
He improved.
It's just easy to throw to, man. That's just easy to throw to.
From 2019 to 2020, like in 2019, he was good. But I mean, he improved so much as a player. And he's only 20 years old, guys. He's young.
Yeah.
He's a young prospect. He turns 21 in October.
We are going to have a smash concept, it looks like to me, to the boundary in tight coverage. And I think what's interesting to me about this play, first of all, he gets knocked by the DN and then pressed by the linebacker. Linebacker has a lot of, they could have called pass interference here, but he doesn't use any rip or release. I feel like he could, maybe it's just because he's holding him, but I think 2 years from now, and this wasn't a touchdown. They said he was out, that his foot was on the line.
Great play.
But I think 2 years from now, he gets this release a little bit cleaner, and he's able to put both of his feet down in the NFL and make this play. Like it's scary the fact that he made this catch and that he's this good without having been able to get a clean release here. And without being able to get his feet down, it's still an athletic play. He's fighting through two defenders. I just think in a year or two, it's going to be a touchdown, and he's going to beat that linebacker clean.
So real quick, I meant to say this earlier in the show, but Kyle Pitts had the best yards per catch of all college tight ends ever, with 40+ receptions. And that's per Rich Rebar of Sharp Football Analysis at 17.9 yards. So he has a lot of these like best ever among college tight ends. His touchdown rate was the second best ever among college tight ends with 27.9%. So longest wingspan ever. It's just like there's so many things about this kid.
I feel like he is a player that just gives a quarterback a lot of confidence. I don't think that he's Calvin Johnson, but when Matthew Stafford or even when Reggie Ball woke up that morning, and knew that he was going to be throwing the ball to Calvin Johnson, you just feel good about that. It doesn't matter if he's covered or not. You feel like he's going to come down with the ball.
For sure.
I just got to get used to these Lions references, man.
I got a Calvin Johnson jersey, authentic, stitched up in the closet, man. I used to go to quarterback trainings up in Michigan with Terry Capacia. Do you know who that is?
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he has like a quarterback camp that he does, and he does trainings and stuff.
I think this is the best route we've seen him run.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I love the way he attacked outside here.
Or that Alabama route. I like that one a lot, Felix, when he splits the defenders.
See, he runs away from people. That Alabama play would have been a touchdown. You see him do it right here.
Yep. I'd like to see him bring that ball in, though, a little tight, switch the arms to the outside. But hey, it's just me learning from Coach Whalen over there.
Now who's critical, man? See?
But I'll take this any day of the week. Feasting on him, man. Feasting on Kentucky.
I would love to see
outside here. Boop. See you later. Great hands catch.
I would love to see him go to a team where they already have a dominant. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love to see him go to a team where they already have a dominant wide receiver. Oh my goodness.
San Francisco.
Kittle
at 3
and Pitts.
I know. They're taking a quarterback. That's where they would have to take him.
You imagine Kittle and Pitts?
Can I ask y'all something? Would you ever guard Kyle Pitts out here with whoever this Duke kid is? Kentucky, I'd rather let them run. I would rather be outnumbered in the box than. Look at this. This is stupid.
100%, man. This is poor coaching right here. It's poor game planning.
Felix, okay, you can help everybody out here. You're that corner. Tell us what's going through his mind right now.
Given his split, he's going to have a lot of time to recover if it's a fade. So I am going to try to not let him. I'm going to be physical and not let him cross my face, because I'm losing. If he crosses my face, I'm losing. if he goes to the fade, then I have a chance to get there, and it could be an errant throw. But I mean, quite simply, if he runs the slant here and gets across my face, it's over. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I mean, and he's a full man inside. You look at that split; he's a full man inside of him, guarding that slant.
That's not what he's thinking. He's thinking, shit. I told him not to line me up out here with Kyle Pitts.
They did that. That's one play. They did that against South Carolina, and they didn't even put Horn at NC.
He actually plays it all right, though, you know?
He does play it all right. That he does.
Look at this catch, though. Just full extension.
I want to see how bad this cornerback's technique is. You're inside. How do you beat inside? Nope. He stopped his feet and tried to use his hands. Keep moving your feet, young man. Goes inside. Keep moving inside.
He's just not powerful enough.
No.
Mm-hmm.
This was that, you know, that 12-5 upset. I was rooting for the corner here. You know, I mean, he's the 12 seed. Upset. You know what I mean? I just wanted him to win the rep. Even though we know it's going to be a play about Pitts, I just wanted him to win.
Nick, give my DBs a break, man. That's a grown man out there. Give my DBs a break.
I coach DBs every day, Felix, and this is what I'm always on them.
So this play has Travis Kelce written all over it for me.
Boop. Oh.
All day. That whip route.
He shouldn't be able to do that.
No, I mean, you see how low he got?
Yeah, he shouldn't be able to do that.
No, you can't guard that. Travis Kelce wins with the whip route all the time.
To ask a safety or a linebacker to cover that, I mean, they're not going to be used to doing it.
No.
That's why you see corners guarding Travis Kelce. That's why you see, you know, Aqib Talib is out there guarding the athletic tight ends when you have a player like that. Because, man.
Felix is taking
Kentucky doesn't have any of those.
Felix is getting so heated he takes his sweatshirt off.
Oh, gonna put this one on Bumble. So I like the release here, and the hands catch the throw behind him.
Mm-hmm. He's doing stuff that I didn't see.
He turns into a runner.
Yeah.
Stiff arm.
Every catch he turns into a runner.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a fantasy football show. What's the spot to take Kyle Pitts?
That's the hardest question, man.
Well, I think that's the biggest debate because here's the thing. Okay. People want him to be top 5 rookie pick. Let's chunk that.
Let's pause this conversation. I got one more play.
Okay.
Let's get into that.
Okay.
Last play. Swim move. And
dude, I knew he was going to.
Oh, and
I knew it.
He just throws it up. Trash just throws it up.
He didn't have. You see that inside hesitation there?
Yes. He was patient. Look at him right here.
I wish I would have watched these tapes because
I didn't see these.
That gets me excited. I didn't see it either,
dude.
Kind of that sudden little.
And he just plays above the rim here, and the quarterback's just able to use that. You know.
Yeah.
So let's get back to this rookie draft conversation. It's so tough to take a tight end early for me. It just is. Like, you know how many tight ends have been taken in the first round, I think, over the last 10 years? I'm going to go through the 10 recent draft classes with first round picks. Tyler Eifert, Eric Ebron, OJ Howard, Evan Ingram, David Njoku, Hayden Hurst, TJ Hawkinson, Noah Fant. Not exactly the best tight ends in the world, but that's not to say like, oh, you can't take a tight end because these other tight ends suck. Like, you don't. It's kind of like the same saying, like, you don't scout the helmet, you scout the player. And Pitts is way better of a prospect than any of those guys I just mentioned. So for me, it's tough. In a Superflex tight end premium league, if it's a tight end premium league, I'm fine taking him probably in the top 8 picks. But I don't think I'll get him if I'm going to wait till 8. There's going to be someone there that's willing to take him in the top 5. What about you guys?
Well, I mean, I'm in a draft right now. So before the NFL draft even happens, he went 5 in a non-super flex, non-tight end premium league, he went 5. But here's where you're battling against. And I think Pitts is, a great tight end prospect, but you can look, the roses, or the roses were rosy, or however you want to say, for a lot of these other guys too. OJ Howard was going to be a freak, their testing numbers, I really liked Evan Ingram. You can go through and through some of these guys, and to take him top 3, top 5, he has to be Kelsey, Kittle, Waller. He has to be one of those guys. Like that's the season he has to put up, or the player he has to be, I think, to live up to that ranking, because you're sacrificing a running back to, maybe a wide receiver 2 type player. And you can get a tight end 4 through tight end 15 super cheap cost. So to spend a tight end, the premium that this draft pick is going to be in a rookie class, he's got to be one of those top 3 guys. And that's hard, because with tight ends as well in the NFL, it's not just on their talent. It's on landing spot, usage, targets. Will a coordinator use him effectively? That's the part that's really tough to define. And if you're like, well, yeah, look how good he is. There were a lot of these guys were good. Evan Ingram was a stud at Ole Miss. OJ Howard was awesome and underutilized at Alabama, and then barely used it all in the NFL and asked to block way more. We don't know what's going to look in the future, and half these prospects don't hit anyway. But to spend a premium pick on a tight end, he has to be those top 3 numbers. If he hits that, hey, you have a huge advantage. If he doesn't, then you just wasted a pick.
I want to plug my show, The Devy Debate, on Wednesdays.
Please do.
Good show, by the way. And I say that before me and you actually were even friends, Felix. I like that show.
Well, we had Dave Richard of CBS Sports on yesterday, and he said that Lawrence and Pitts are the considerations for the 101 in Superflex tight end premium. I don't know that I agree with that, but what I will say is that I don't think that the comp for Pitts is like any of the first round, the picks that you named, J-Wack. I would have to go all the way back to Jeremy Shockey coming out of Miami, just the level of prospect that he was. Now, they were different style players, because Shockey was, much more of a physical kind of bowl you over type tight end. But like Jeremy Shockey, Kellen Winslow, even though Kellen Winslow Jr. didn't have as good of a NFL career because of injury, I think that those first round prospects are probably more comparable to the type of prospect that we feel that Kyle Pitts is. All of that being said, Superflex tight end premium, I still got to take. I feel like there are 4 quarterbacks in this class that I want. Lawrence, I want Fields, I want Lance. I want all 4 of them, and I can't really see how you can pass them up.
What about your boy, Zach Wilson? He doesn't get a mention?
I said Wilson, Fields, Lance, all 4 of them. Wilson, Fields, okay. Lawrence, Lance, all 3, all 4 of them.
You left Wilson out.
All right,
all 4 of them. But then after that, I think Pitts is up there with Chase and whoever Najee you want to consider.
Yeah, see, I'm always going to value the running backs up there too, right after the quarterbacks. In Superflex leagues, I have to take one of these 4 quarterbacks if I have one of the 4 picks. And this is just, it's just pre-draft still. We don't know how the draft's going to play out, but let's just assume all 4 of those guys go within the top 10 picks, which was what everyone's mocking. Then I'm taking Najee Harris. He's my RB1. I'm taking a running back. Running backs are a premium too. It's just tight end is so risky, especially taking him in the top 5, top 6 picks of a rookie draft. Like normally they don't produce for the first couple of years. It's usually year 3 where we start seeing these tight ends start returning value for us. It's just tough, man. It depends on your risk profile and what you're willing to do. Now, if you're in a rebuild situation where you have a couple first round picks, then I would definitely consider using one of them for Pitts maybe earlier and saving that second pick for one of these top wide receivers, because I think there's about 4 or 5 really good ones here that I'd be happy taking.
Because look at Fenton Hawkinson. They weren't even rookies. They're going to go in their 3rd year, and the numbers that they're hitting, and they're top 5 dynasty tight ends probably, and they're not even close to what Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, Akers, any of those running backs are in terms of value. And that's what we're talking about. We all like Kyle Pitts. If you don't think so, go back and watch the tape, right? Watch this show again. We all like him. And it sounds like from what we looked at tape wise, we all watched something different. He got better as the season went on, and we all like him. But in terms of a value, the points that they're going to get to help your fantasy team, which is why we're on this show, is with one of those other positions. Like you could draft Najee Harris, and if you really wanted Kyle Pitts, maybe after Kyle Pitts' the second year, you can trade Najee for Kyle Pitts plus first plus whatever and get Kyle Pitts back.
Yeah.
You got to be comfortable with believing that Kyle, you have to come to the conclusion that Kyle Pitts is unprecedented, or that we haven't seen something like him again since Jeremy Shockey, Kellen Winslow Jr., and that he can come in. I mean, because in tight end, he's got to put up, 1,000 yards and 8-9 touchdowns to be worth it, which would be only like the greatest rookie tight end season ever. So,
yeah. So let's transition a bit here. We've been talking about Kyle Pitts. We got a new segment of the show that we're going to do every week. My man, Felix Sharp, if you don't know about him, he dives so deep. He's heavy into C2C, which is campus to Canton leagues, which is basically just really deep devy. If you haven't played in campus to Canton, I'm pretty sure I talk about it every week. You play on the college side. The drafts are normally 35 to 40 rounds. You could win on the college side. You win money. So you start a lineup each week. And then those players transition with you into your NFL team. So they just come up and they go into the team as they enter the NFL, and then you win on the NFL side. Felix actually is a part owner of campustocanton.com. So he knows all about these sleepers. So who you got for us tonight, Mr. Sharp, with the Sharp sleeper? That's what we're calling it.
Funny thing is that this week's Sharp sleeper wasn't even eligible to be taken as a Campus to Canton prospect because he's a Division II player, 6'6", 248 out of Central Missouri, Zach Davidson. Zach Davidson, who was punting until essentially the last game of his senior year at Webb City High School in Webb City, Missouri, a punter his junior year in high school. And J-Wack, if you've got that video, you can play it and I'll just talk through it. But senior year, really a punter until the playoffs, then punter till the playoffs, and then was selected as all district tight end. Recruited as a punter by Missouri Southern, Pitt State, Central Missouri. Central Missouri says, hey, we'll let you try out at tight end, even though you'll be playing punter. Adds 25 pounds. All right. And then in 2019, they didn't play in 2020 because of the pandemic. He goes 40 for 915. Averages 20-plus yards a catch. J-Wack's going to show you the video. This dude is somebody who can move. Now, if you go to the Debbie debate, I've talked about Zach Davidson there, and there's a podcast of us talking about him, in January or December, something like that. Then he also put up one of the best RAS scores, Kent Platt's RAS scores that tests a prospect's athleticism on a 0 to 10 scale. I think he was in the 9.4-ish range. So very athletic player. He has the length. He has the speed and size. And I just want Nick, or both of you, just tell me I'm tripping like this. Like, this guy looks like he can move. He looks like he can play. You could say, no, I just don't see it. But
can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, yep, no, we can see it. And it's funny because Felix had mentioned this guy to me, and I haven't even heard of him. And I know the head coach for Central Missouri. I was with him for 3 months. So that's a Jim Swoboda guy. But no, he looks good because I checked him out after you mentioned it. He's long, but he moves. He reminds me of Troutman, but a better athlete, which is crazy because Troutman's a great athlete.
He is fluid, man.
He's fluid.
He's big and he's fluid. He's a hell of an athlete.
You don't really see a tight end getting behind a defense like this really at any level. I don't care that it's Division II. By the way, Division II is the division that I played in. So, but he's got that long, lanky basketball run after the catch ability.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, NFL Draft Bible. They provide 2 grades for their players. It's like their grade as to what the player is coming in and what they expect them to be.
No,
He stayed in bounds. He stayed in bounds.
Sorry, man.
Zach Davidson has the biggest discrepancy between his 2 numbers, meaning like they think that his growth could be exponential. So it's not just me, NFL Draft Bible, that's Sports Illustrated. That's a reputable site. So they think highly of him too.
I mean, obviously we're watching his best plays of the season, but you can just, when you watch a highlight tape, you can pick up on how this guy moves and how this guy plays. And he looks like a smooth player. He's got long arms. He high points the football, catches it with his hands, and he makes plays after the catch. I know this is D2, but I mean, still, like, these guys, it's not like there's slouches out here.
And I appreciate you, Jay Wack, so much for letting me, tout one of these deep guys.
We're gonna get one of these a week, and if they pan out, we're gonna market the shit out of it.
Yeah. So Zach Davidson, again, I mean, I just pretty much told you everything that I would tell you on the Devy Debate Draft Profile show on him, but we talked about him there too. So
Zach Davidson, we'll see come end of April here if he gets picked. Probably a day 3 guy, if not undrafted pickup for one of these football NFL teams. So possibly a waiver wire target after your rookie draft is over. Go ahead and put a claim in on him because none of your league mates will. And you can thank Mr. Sharp here afterwards when he pans out in 3 years and you're looking mighty fine.
I got to think of who I'm going to do next week or whenever we do this again.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap this up, fellas. You got anything else that you want to get out there about Kyle Pitts? Anything you guys are working on? Anything you want to share with the nerd herd here?
I think that the biggest thing right now is, a lot of the work is in. There's 84 million draft guides out there. There's so many podcasts. There's highlights that you can watch. There's tape like this. The biggest thing that I would encourage everyone to do right now is put your own bias aside and be open and listen to all these different opinions and stats and film on players, because the more you can learn, the better outcomes you're going to have on players, on teams, on fits, etc. So just be open and it will help you out.
Absorb it all, but come up with your own opinions. I mean, come up with your own process for how you'll evaluate players. That's fun. This is fun. We're doing this because this is fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so take what we have to say, but go ahead and watch your own film. Do your, look at the analytics that you want to consider and weigh, but come up with your own opinions.
Yeah, go ahead, watch your own film. We have the prospect film room for you guys at dynastynerds.com, where we cut up each play that player is on the field for as soon as they're done outside of the picture of that play. We cut it right to the next one. So hyper efficient film watching. Go ahead and get your grades in on these dynasty prospects. Get ready for your rookie drafts. Sign up for the Nerd Herd if you haven't yet. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about Kyle Pitts. Let us know what you think about this tight end class. Let us know what you think about Zach Davidson or who you want us to cover next episode. So until next time, we're out of here. Appreciate y'all. Have a good one.